Mr. Rao, please stay on. We have another guest joining us. Mr. Vellayan of Chola Mandalam is with us. Mr. Vellayan, congratulations first of all. What's the immediate reaction? Formidable competition.
No, I think the competition is always good. First off, I'm highly encouraged by what RBI has done. I'd like to thank RBI for thinking of us, but overall I think it's very encouraging that they've actually given licenses to 11 people because the requirements in India are huge, right? And India is traditionally still a very cash-based society, and what payments banks allow is for many people who predominantly transact in cash to get included, financially included first off, and then enter the banking domain over time as well. So I think it's very encouraging. So I won't even see it as much as competition as much as an opportunity for the country to start financially including at a rate that it's never done before.
Oh, I agree. I mean, financial inclusion is one part, but changing the way in which the already banked will pay their bills or perhaps make their purchases is perhaps part of the payment bank, you think?
Yes, it is. And,
you mean you see me also as a customer in payment bank?
Absolutely. See, I think what's going to happen, Lata, obviously it is an opportunity, but what I do see is that there's, everybody is going to pick slightly different niches here, right? And if you take us as an NBFC, so for example, to the already banked world, they might focus on a different set of customers. But us as an NBFC might go to people who we think need more financial inclusion, because that's traditionally the space we've played in more. So I think it definitely is going to be different niches that different people pick. So I don't think all 11 will be competing head-on with each other, because they'll all be in slightly different spaces.
Yeah, I find it even difficult to visualize, but please let me get Mr. Nageshwar Rao again into the conversation, the chief of NSDL. Mr. Rao, what is your sense? You will be going it alone, or you will be tying up with somebody, either a bank or a telecom player or both?
We are going alone, of course, and of course we always keep our options open, of course, but as of now, of course, we are going alone.
But look at the competition. I mean, there is an SBI Rel Jio combine that looks formidable, even if you put it on paper. Two huge guys, and then you have Aditya Birla, which already has within it a fairly well-entrenched NBFC, a well-developed NBFC, well-diversified NBFC, and Idea, which is a fast-growing and perhaps one of the more nimble telecom providers. I mean, formidable competition. So you still think you can go it alone in a space like this?
No, we of course respect all our competitors, of course, whether they are the new licensees or whether it is from the mainstream banking, and all of us compete in the same space, and of course we have a high regard for all of them, and of course, and I hope that the competition will spur all of us to be better.
Okay, what is your sense in terms of how much time it will take you to break even?
We don't have a specific a timeline to share with you at this time, because but obviously because that the real work starts now.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, just hang in there, sir. We have Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma of Paytm also joining in. Vijay, you have already hit the ground running in a sense. So do you think your payment bank will be launched much earlier than 18 months?
Well, we definitely want to launch payment bank much earlier than 18 months. We are a technology company. I mean, it will be a shame if we didn't do that. I can just say that. I think it will be only the other hurdles that could block us, if there is any. But that said, I believe that this is an opportunity, and we're the newest kid. Maybe we might be the fastest kid too, but we want to run a marathon here.
Yes,
we are here for long, so we don't want to be burning early, and we want to be having a story where country can see 500 million users are there on a large financial platform.
Take your point. Startups can be gold mines, startups can be land mines. All the very best to you. But Vijay, yeah, you know that better than anybody else. But Vijay, will you be going it alone? Because this is a large space.
We're not alone. We're not alone. We have some of the largest commerce players and payment players in our party. I mean, we're not alone.
Who do you have?
Alibaba, Alipay.
Sorry?
Alibaba, Alipay.
Okay, no. What I meant was in terms of customers already acquired. Mr. Vellayan here has a large number of NBFC customers, and he will be very close to rural areas or semi-urban areas where remittances and payments services will be needed. Likewise, SBI will have its own catchment area, and its ability because of Rel Jio to hop on to the hinterland of unbanked areas. Alibaba is not going to give you that kind of a backbone in terms of customers just yet.
No doubt about it. I think I got it now. So first of all, I think correcting myself here that we believe that we can go standalone because we wouldn't have believed as Paytm that in such a short span we would have got 100 million users. In this country, only telcos would have got 100 million users by now. So we're talking about really large recall customer who is transacted on Paytm, and we believe that we can carry it along standalone. As much as we want to, we would not need anybody else as far as the reach and go-to market is concerned.
As far as money is concerned, yes, you don't have to go anywhere. I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
but how much money do you think you'll need?
We have as much money in our business plan and many times over in our bank. So I'm very proud to say that. I mean, this is not a money.
No, I'm asking.
This is about execution.
Well, there was a gentleman, one of the participants said that he will need about $60 to $80 million. That is his initial estimate. So you have an estimate in your mind?
No, we have $500 million in our bank.
Okay, all right. Then you don't need an estimate when you have $500 million. But what is the estimate in terms of time?
We want to do it as soon as possible. We want to see how the guidance requires us to do what all things, and I'll not be jumping on the timeline, but I can very surely say that we are very eager and we are very committed to get it early, and not just early, but we are here for long haul. So we want to play it like 2020. Can we bring 500 million Indians? So we keeping a steep curve number on us as a target.
Okay, which would be your first catchment area? It would be urban guys?
Today, Paytm is definitely sort of...
It's an urban product.
Yeah. So I'd say that at least 40% of our customers are urban and 60% are rural. So I would go first in the areas where customers understand Paytm as a brand and are very repeat users of us. Yes, urban is that.
Okay. But you think you'll be able to make inroads into rural areas, Vijay?
Today, if you see 100 million users, 60% of them are in rural. So 60 million rural users, we probably will be able to play the technology as a differentiation and technology as a reason for it to exist.
That would mean at the other end, there is at least a phone instrument. You would be able to tap into all the phones networks in the rural areas, you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I fundamentally believe that consumer has committed a smartphone and a mobile internet. He's potentially our customer.
Okay.
We want to make sure that...
Is Paytm already multilingual?
Paytm is multilingual.
Okay.
Paytm has capabilities of multilingual. I mean, we historically have a capability of handling 23 languages in this country. So language is first barrier. Trust is the biggest barrier than language, actually.
Absolutely.
Language is not what it is.
No, trust, I agree with you completely, because in banking...
We all are new people on the block, and we all have to build the trust that traditionally these large incumbents have been able to build over the period. That said, I think the differentiation will be that we will be new, so there will be a youth who will be ready to try us, young, rural, and I think we're going to bank on those kind of segments.
Absolutely. Vijay, I think you're already talking like a banker. If you're able to identify that trust is the most important cash, then I guess you've already cracked it. Congratulations, and perhaps we will be speaking to banker Vijay Shekhar Sharma shortly. Thanks a lot for joining us. Mr. Vellayan, what are your next plans? Have you thought of some business partners?
Well, definitely we will look at partnerships. We're very open to the idea of partnerships now.
Would they be telecom? Would they be
at this stage, I think we're open. Like Vijay said, the digital space is a huge space, and so we need to think of something that's going to be. I think what is very complementary is kind of a combination of digital and physical. We have a couple of ideas, and intrinsically for us, just within the ecosystem, it gives us a good population to start with. We've got within our group itself, we have Coromandel that has a large farmer population. Both Coromandel and Eddie Paddy both have good farmer populations that we can tap into, and the truck population, the truck driver population that we have within Chola itself. So I think we've got a couple of models in mind that don't require partnership, but given that there are 11, I think it is going to afford for some other partnerships to develop as well. So we're definitely open.
So maybe a digital partner is what you will look at?
Yes, I definitely think a digital combination with a physical player makes a lot of sense, right? Because like Vijay said, you have a lot of both urban and rural youth that are basically looking at predominantly digital solutions, but a physical infrastructure is required in the payment space, right? And especially because what we're trying to do is move a lot of cash-based payments to digital payments over time, which basically means that handling of cash at that point of interchange is still required. And so we need to think of how we're going to do that, which means that this physical digital combo will actually become very effective over time.
Okay. You have any idea of how much money is involved in the process at all? You would have had some business plans.
Yeah, we have a business plan. I think everybody has different estimates on kind of how much money is involved. It really depends on how people are going to approach it, right? There is definitely the totally digital approach, which basically is, if you look at what's happening with a lot of startups nowadays, you have the opportunity to burn very significant amounts of money in order to acquire customers. That hasn't been our approach, and will not be our approach in this space either.
Fair enough. One more competitor of yours is joining us on the phone line. Deepak Gupta, Joint Managing Director of Kotak Mahindra Bank. Mr. Gupta, you all have tied up with Airtel, so you all are in the fray.
Well, actually, I'm just seeing the list, really.
Yes, Airtel M-Commerce Services Limited has got a license.
That's right.
So that's how you become a payment bank.
Well, Airtel will become a payment bank.
I agree.
That entity will become a parent bank. Yeah.
I agree. But you will be, in a sense, a participant in this arena.
Yes. Yeah, we'll be a minority shareholder in that.
Okay. What is the sense you are getting? Look at the kind of guys who have got licenses. Besides the Chola Mandalam group, we also see, all the big groups in. Airtel along with you, which means Bharti is in. Then you have Aditya Birla Nuvo getting a license. You've got the tremendous combination of Reliance and SBI, which has got one of the licenses. And then you have Fino cards, through which ICICI enters the fray. Tech Mahindra has entered the fray. They've got a license. So, all the giants are in.
No, Voda is there.
Yeah, Voda is there, but I think that giants I named are even bigger than Voda in terms of the money and experience they bring to the table. Agreed. I mean, Voda is also a competitor. How do you think this changes the face of banking?
Well, the payment bank is only one part of banking, really. And I think it's banking to a segment which is it's a product market which is still relatively, I'd say, unbanked. Yeah. So it's a very different segment, really.
Is it really going to be to the unbanked? Is my question. I mean, the way Paytm was speaking, it may not be only to the unbanked. He is going to service the banked, and he is going to tell us that you put your money in my wallet instead of Paytm. We'll probably be having. I would have probably a payments bank of Paytm, and I'll be doing a whole lot of payments with that. So is it possible that you're going to see a banking system where banks are intermediating? Kotak Bank intermediates only for SMEs, for loans and such purposes, but the retail is completely swept away by the payment bank. Is that a likely scenario?
I'd say the opportunity for the payment bank is significantly, beyond that. What is really or truly a bank segment is only about 20-25% of the potential marketplace. So from that perspective, if you look at the payment bank, there is another 75-80% of the marketplace which is relatively unbanked, where there is greater opportunity to participate in really over a period of time. I think that's the bigger piece, really. I wouldn't really be so worried about the piece which is already banked, really.
Okay, you would agree, Mr. Vellayan, the way NSDL or even for that matter Paytm think about it, they seem to want to grab the already banked and take their payment services. I don't know how much money they make in that. At the moment, startups are being fed by private equity. But you see that there are, the money is going to be made only in rural unbanked areas, as Mr. Gupta says, or will money be made in the urban areas?
Money is definitely going to be made in the urban areas as well. If you look at it globally, there are lots of models where people have made a lot of money, and starting with things like PayPal, right? There are lots of opportunities where a lot of money has been made in urban areas as well with the banked. right? And so if you look at that whole space, first off, it just allows somebody like who's got a prepaid wallet to basically start making money on that versus having to go and kind of deposit it at a bank and kind of keep it in an escrow account at the bank. So definitely you're going to have, wallet behavior, for example, like PayPal is global, right? And it's always been with banked people, right? So both the banked and the unbanked will definitely use wallet behavior. So that is a huge advantage for everybody.
Where will you make money is my point.
Well, so first off, right, just in terms of, if you take PayPal as an entity,
the float will give you money?
Yeah, the float gives them a lot of economics.
Mr. Gupta, is that the way you also think you will make money?
You have to run a bank to realize how much money the float
Absolutely. Absolutely. Since you know it, it's the float which will give you the money?
Not really. The payment bank model, I think, will not survive on float money.
Okay, so the fee that you make on every
the second component is clearly
1 paisa per payment is enough to make money.
If I were to probably break it up between, how much money probably a payment bank can make out of float and out of fees, it probably will be something like a 10 to 90, 10% out of float and maybe 90% out of fees.
You agree?
It will differ based on the models that people choose, right? I mean, so for example, if somebody went for a model fully like PayPal, then they traditionally will make more money on float, right? But most players, right, like Mr. Gupta is saying, might choose a model that is actually, a combination of fees and float. And fees is going to come from two sets of things, right? Because you can also originate services for other customers. It gives us the opportunity to distribute products to these players.
So other kinds of fees.
Other kinds of fees as well. It's not just transaction fees, right? And I think the other fees around distribution have a significant bearing on this as well.
All right. I think these are early days for sure, and early hours and minutes for the two of you. Mr. Gupta, Mr. Vellayan, thank you very much for joining me in this conversation. Well, we are entering very, very interesting times. And with that, we'll wind up this discussion on the issuance of payment bank licenses by the Reserve Bank.